Hi, well, welcome back to some more information that we hope's been helping you out as you make some decisions about the training that you can use and the funding that you can tap into. We get asked a lot of questions about what government funding exists to help with training, and so I wanted to have a talk to you about the Australian Apprenticeship and Traineeship scheme, which you might hear referred to as business traineeships or office apprenticeships. You know, there's a range of terms, but basically it all comes under the Australian Apprenticeship and Traineeship scheme, which means that it's administered by government, so the federal government in Australia and the state government. So I'm going to talk about the federal government in Queensland quickly, and I'm going to talk about some basic things you might want to know about traineeships. Now, one of the first things is that the word traineeship, if you're like me and been out of school for 20 odd years, when we were in school and you finished, then you could look at a traineeship, and basically that was someone that was entering the workforce for the first time, and you're going to get paid not very much, and you're going to have to do some study. Now, basically traineeships are an old term that have been revamped and given a new meaning. So these days a traineeship can be used to someone like me. You know, someone, I'm late 30s, been out of school for quite a while, in a job, so I'm an existing employee, or in my case it's my business, so we'll talk about how that impacts down the track, but I could be eligible, if I worked for this business, I'd been out for 20 odd years and I'd been busy in the workplace, I'd still be eligible to tap into the traineeship. Now that's a good thing because it gives you an opportunity to access some government funding. So if you're thinking about whether or not you want to use some government funding but you're worried about not wanting to be a trainee, let me tell you something, it doesn't impact on your job. Okay, so it can't change the position, your job title, the terms of your contract, your pay. If you're an existing employee, then that's all going to stay the same, but it is going to give you a mechanism for you to obtain a nationally recognised qualification, or your team to obtain nationally recognised qualifications without having to put your hands in your own pocket. So tapping into that money that's around at a federal and state level. Now, basically it will look at from Certificate 3 through to Certificate 4, Diploma, and even Advanced Diploma in some instances, and in particular qualifications that funding's around. There is, you're given under a traineeship a lot of time to complete a qualification, so at Certificate 3 level you've got 12 months. Certificate 4, which you can see is progressing and becomes higher, you've got 2 years, and Diploma you have 3 years. So you have time where that funding's available and you can work your way through the qualification. Now our experience is you don't want to take 3 years because you want to get it over and done with. The longer it drags out, the harder it seems to be because you lose energy and focus. So we at Churchill Education work really hard to get you wrapped up, whatever level you're in, at 6 to 9 months, because that seems to be a really good time, allows for real life to get in your way a little bit at times, but that time frame lets you get motivated, get through it, and get that piece of paper in your hand so you can get on with using it to your benefit. So that's one of the things that you'll need to know about the traineeship funding. If you've had a university qualification, a degree, then you're ineligible to receive funding to obtain another qualification. It doesn't matter if you went off and got a nursing degree and now you want to do a diploma of business. Once you've had that university opportunity, then you're not going to get state or federal funding. So that's one thing to remember. Look, the money will go to the employer from the government, so your employer will pay for your qualification through that process. So it won't come out of your pocket. So under a traineeship you should have the opportunity to complete a qualification in work time as part of your job. So you're going to be asked to commit some time to it, and you know, we kind of work on 1 to 2 hours a week. We'll get you through. So that's a fair commitment. Now the other ways you won't be eligible apart from a degree is if you are the owner or a director of the business. But if you're an Australian or a New Zealand citizen or you're a permanent resident, you're eligible. If you tick these other boxes, you can work 15 and over hours. So you can't be casual, but if you're doing on average 15 plus hours a week, then that's another box that you've ticked that takes you down the track to being eligible. If you've done a Certificate 3 and you want to do a Certificate 4, then you can't do that for another 7 years. You've got to wait. But if you've done a Certificate 4 level qualification, for example, if you have done a Certificate 4 in business and you want to move up the chain and you want to progress, then you can be eligible to straight away go in, once you finish Certificate 4, go and do a Diploma of Management, for example. So that's a great thing to remember, because you want to tap into that consecutive as you develop. Great opportunity to receive some funding that pays for your qualification. So there's some quick information about the Australian Apprenticeship and Traineeship scheme. If you're considering a business traineeship, then I encourage you to give us a call at Churchill Education. Look, we've got some great packages to get you through. We're also done a really competitive price, and more importantly, we're going to give you the support that will make sure you cross that line in 6 to 9 months, and that will recognise your experience as part of the process, so that your learning experience will be a fantastic one that takes you on closer to where you want to be. Give me a call, 1300 793 002, or you can speak to myself, Tricia, or any of our team, and particularly Catherine. Love to take your calls and have a chat to you, and if we can't help you, we'll try and find someone who can. So I'll be back soon to talk to you a little bit more about what sort of funds exist and how much that is, because that's always an interesting question. So I'll talk to you about that soon. Thanks.